How long before we start seeing cruise ships operating again? Is it possible to give any indication?
I think it's quite difficult at the moment, Ian. Let's face it, we don't know yet when any aspects of the current lockdown are going to be lifted. So it's a hard projection for us to make. Clearly, we're keen to be able to start operating as soon as is sensible. And by sensible, I mean having agreed appropriate health regulations in order for us to start operating again. But exactly when that will be is hard to tell at the moment.
I mean, I notice all of the newspapers are still carrying their regular advertisements and promotions for cruises. You still are anticipating a return to demand at some point in the future?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt that demand will begin to return. We have a very, very loyal customer base. And indeed, it's very refreshing to see, for instance, in letters printed in newspapers from regular cruise customers who are itching to get back on board and hoping that we'll be able to take them on board again as soon as possible.
So what sort of level of demand destruction, if I can use that jargon, do you think you might see?
Again, that's a tough projection. I think that we will, when we can start, grow again progressively. It will depend on the extent to which other countries begin to open their borders so that we're able to conduct attractive itineraries. So it is going to take some while, but I think that demand will come back when we can put our offers back on the market. It will take a while, though.
David, your parent company, Carnival, was very quick to raise new capital. Do you worry about other operators in the industry? Is there the possibility that some of your competitors may go bust?
I understand that cruise companies in general have been able to garner support, not just through loan schemes, and of course they will be making their own arrangements as appropriate, but particularly with the government furlough scheme, that has helped us to keep our costs under control. It's very, very welcome, and it's particularly welcome that that scheme is now being moved forward until the 30th of June. I do believe that it will be necessary for it to continue beyond that date, particularly for industries such as ours, which are complex, have a number of factors to consider before we can start operating, and therefore a big ask from us would be more thought about extending that scheme even beyond the current date.
And David, what about the industries that support the cruise sector? Are you concerned about the financial health for specific parts of that?
Yes, these are very often small and medium-sized enterprises. Their role in supporting us in the UK is critical. We take cruise ships to more than 50 different ports, the length and breadth of this country, from Falmouth right up to the Orkneys and Shetlands. And we have many people, not only the port workers themselves, but anything from bus drivers, taxi drivers, tour guides, restaurants, local food suppliers, etc., etc. All of them depend on our industry, and we need them to survive. So we ask the government to work very collaboratively with us, and they are already doing so, to make sure that we can come back on stream at a sensible time as soon as possible, so that all those industries can have the risks that they see reduced and that they be given more certainty.
All right, David Dingle, great to see you again. Thanks for joining me.